Is poor communication killing your relationship? Most couples don't realize it, but communication isn't just about talking. It's about connection, safety, timing, and the way your brain processes emotion under stress. And here's the truth. Most people think they're good communicators until their partner tells them otherwise. We all believe we're being clear. We all believe we're being reasonable. But the moment conflict shows up, something changes. Voices rise, walls go up, and suddenly two people who love each other feel like they're speaking different languages. If you've ever walked away from a conversation thinking, how did this turn into an argument? Or, why do they never understand what I'm trying to say? You're not alone. Communication problems are the number one reason relationships fall apart. Not lack of love, not lack of effort, but the inability to express needs, emotions, and boundaries in a way the other person can actually receive. Today, we're going to break this down clearly. We're going to look at the 5 biggest reasons communication fails, and more importantly, how to fix each one. But before we get into the countdown, we need to talk about something most people never consider. Something that explains why men and women often misunderstand each other even when they're trying their best. Because communication isn't just emotional, it's biological, it's neurological, it's hormonal. And once you understand the science behind how men and women process information differently, you'll finally understand why your conversations keep going sideways and how to bring them back. Let's start there. How men and women communicate differently. Before we dive into the 5 reasons communication fails, we need to talk about something most couples never consider. Something that explains why even simple conversations can turn into misunderstandings. Men and women are not wired the same way when it comes to communication. Not emotionally, not neurologically, not hormonally. And none of this is about intelligence or capability. It's about biology. It's about how the brain processes stress, emotion, and language. Understanding these differences doesn't divide us. It helps us finally understand each other. Let's break it down. 1. The brain processes language differently. Women tend to have stronger connections between the left and right hemispheres of the brain. This means emotional information and verbal information flow together more easily. So when a woman talks, she's often expressing the emotion she feels, the meaning behind it, the context, and the relational impact all at the same time. Men, on the other hand, tend to have stronger connections within each hemisphere. This creates a more compartmentalized communication style. So when a man talks, he's often focused on the problem, the solution, the facts, and the quickest path to resolution. Neither style is better, they're just different operating systems. And when you don't understand the other person's system, you assume they're ignoring you, dismissing you, or being difficult. When in reality, they're communicating in the way their brain naturally works. 2. Hormones shape communication more than we realize. Estrogen increases verbal fluency, emotional awareness, and the ability to read subtle cues. This is why many women can sense tone shifts, micro-expressions, and emotional changes instantly. Testosterone, on the other hand, increases directness, brevity, and a focus on action over discussion. It also reduces the desire to sit in emotionally heavy conversations for long periods. So when a woman wants to talk through something deeply and a man wants to get to the point quickly, neither is wrong. They're just hormonally tuned in different ways. 3. Stress makes men and women react oppositely. This is the part that causes the most conflict. Under stress, women often experience the tend and befriend response. They seek connection, reassurance, and emotional closeness to regulate their nervous system. Men, under stress, experience a stronger fight or flight response. Their nervous system pushes them to withdraw, shut down, or go silent so they can calm themselves internally. So what happens? A woman moves toward the conversation. A man moves away from it. She interprets his withdrawal as rejection. He interprets her intensity as danger. Both feel misunderstood. Both feel attacked. Both feel alone. But neither is trying to hurt the other. They're simply reacting to stress in the way their biology dictates. 4. Why this matters for your relationship. When you understand these differences, everything changes. You stop taking things personally. You stop assuming the worst. You stop thinking your partner is being difficult on purpose. Instead, you start seeing communication for what it really is. Two nervous systems trying to connect, even when they're wired differently. And once you understand the wiring, you can finally fix the misfires. Now that we've laid the foundation, let's move into the countdown, the 5 biggest reasons communication fails, starting with number 5. Reason number 5. You listen to respond, not to understand. Most people don't realize this, but the biggest communication problem isn't talking, it's listening. And not just listening with your ears, listening with your nervous system, your attention, and your intention. Because here's the truth. Most of us don't listen to understand. We listen to defend, to correct, or to prepare our comeback. And when you do that, you're not in a conversation. You're in a quiet competition. Let me show you how this plays out. The psychological breakdown. When your partner speaks, your brain immediately starts scanning for what you disagree with, what feels like criticism, what you want to correct, what you want to justify, what you want to say next. Your mind jumps ahead, your heart rate increases, your defenses rise, and even if you're silent, you're not actually listening. You're waiting for your turn. Meanwhile, your partner can feel it. People can sense when you're not truly present. They can feel when you're preparing your rebuttal instead of receiving their truth. And that's when communication breaks down. How does this damage the relationship? When someone feels unheard, they don't just feel ignored. They feel unimportant. They feel like their emotions don't matter. They feel like they're talking to a wall. They feel alone, even in the same room. And once someone feels alone in a relationship, resentment begins to grow quietly in the background. A simple example. Your partner says, "I feel like you don't spend time with me anymore." If you're listening to respond, you'll say something like, "That's not true. I've been busy." You're overreacting. You know I care. But if you're listening to understand, you'll say, "Tell me what's making you feel that way." Or, "What does quality time look like for you right now?" One response shuts the conversation down. The other opens the door to connection. The fix. Slow down and get curious. Here's the shift that changes everything. Instead of reacting, get curious. Instead of defending, explore. Instead of assuming, ask. Try this simple sentence the next time tension rises. "Help me understand what you're feeling." It's disarming. It's grounding. It signals safety. And when someone feels safe, they communicate honestly, not defensively. Reason number 4. You avoid hard conversations. Most people don't realize this, but avoiding difficult conversations is one of the fastest ways to destroy trust in a relationship. Not because you're trying to hurt your partner, but because silence creates distance, and distance creates stories. When something bothers you and you don't say it, your partner doesn't feel relief. They feel confusion. They feel the shift in your tone, your energy, your body language. They feel you pulling away, even if you're trying to keep the peace. Avoidance feels safe in the moment, but it's incredibly expensive in the long run. The psychology behind avoidance. When a conversation feels uncomfortable, your brain interprets it as a threat. Your nervous system says, "Protect yourself. Don't make it worse. Stay quiet." So you swallow your feelings, you minimize your needs, you pretend you're fine. But here's the truth. Every avoided conversation becomes an emotional debt, and eventually, the debt comes due. Resentment builds quietly. You start keeping score. You start withdrawing emotionally. You start feeling disconnected from the person you love. And the relationship begins to erode, not because of one big fight, but because of 1,000 small silences. A simple example. Your partner makes a comment that hurts you. You tell yourself, "It's not worth bringing up. I don't want to start an argument. They won't understand anyway." So you stay quiet. But the next time they do it, it hurts more. And the next time, even more. Until one day you explode over something small. Not because of that moment, but because of everything you never said. The fix. Speak early, speak gently. You don't need to confront everything with intensity. You just need to address things before they turn into resentment. Try this simple sentence. "Hey, something small happened earlier, and I want to talk about it before it grows into something bigger." It's calm, it's honest, it's preventative, and it keeps your relationship clean, emotionally clean. Reason number 3. You communicate emotion, not meaning. This is one of the most common and most misunderstood communication problems. When people get overwhelmed, they don't express what they need, they express what they feel. And feelings are important, but feelings without clarity create chaos. The psychology behind emotional flooding. When your emotions spike, your brain shifts into survival mode. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and language, goes offline. Your amygdala, the emotional alarm system, takes over. So instead of saying, "I need reassurance," you say, "You never listen." Instead of saying, "I feel disconnected," you say, "You don't care about me." Instead of saying, "I'm overwhelmed," you say, "You're stressing me out." The emotion is real, but the message gets lost, and your partner reacts to the words, not the need behind them. How this creates miscommunication. When you express emotion without meaning, your partner hears blame, accusation, criticism, rejection, even if that's not what you intended. And once someone feels attacked, they stop listening. They defend, they shut down, they counterattack. Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about connection. It's about survival. A simple example. You say, "You never spend time with me." What you mean is, "I miss you. I want to feel close to you." But your partner only hears the accusation, and instead of moving toward you, they move away. The fix. Translate emotion into meaning. Before you speak, ask yourself, what do I actually need right now? Then express it clearly. I need reassurance. I need connection. I need clarity. I need a moment to breathe. I need you to hear me without fixing it. This is how you turn emotional chaos into emotional clarity. And clarity is what creates connection. Reason number 2. You expect mind reading. One of the most damaging and most common communication mistakes is expecting your partner to just know. To know what you meant, to know what you need, to know what you're feeling, to know what you didn't say out loud. But here's the truth. No one is a mind reader, not even the person who loves you the most. And yet, so many couples fall into this trap. Why we expect mind reading psychologically, we assume that the people closest to us should understand us intuitively. We think, if they really cared, they'd know. I shouldn't have to explain this. It's obvious. They should understand how I feel. But what's obvious to you is not always obvious to someone else, especially someone with a different communication style, different emotional wiring, and a different stress response. When you expect mind reading, you're setting your partner up to fail, and setting yourself up for disappointment. How this shows up in relationships. You feel hurt, but you don't say why. You feel overwhelmed, but you don't ask for help. You feel disconnected, but you don't express what would make you feel close again. Instead, you wait. You hope they'll notice. You hope they'll guess correctly. You hope they'll fix something they don't even know is broken. And when they don't, you feel unloved. You feel invisible. You feel misunderstood. But the truth is simple. Your partner can't meet needs you never expressed. A simple example. You want more affection, but instead of saying, I miss physical closeness, you wait for them to initiate. When they don't, you feel rejected. But they're not rejecting you. They just didn't know what you needed. Or you want help with responsibilities. But instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed, can you take care of this tonight? You wait for them to notice. When they don't, you feel unsupported. But again, they didn't know. The fix. Express needs clearly and calmly. Healthy communication isn't about hinting. It's about clarity. Try this simple formula. I feel blank and I need blank. Examples. I feel disconnected and I need some quality time with you. I feel overwhelmed and I need help with dinner tonight. I feel anxious and I need reassurance. I feel unheard and I need you to listen without fixing it. This isn't demanding. This isn't controlling. This is healthy communication. When you express your needs clearly, you give your partner the chance to show up for you, instead of expecting them to guess. Before we move into the number one reason communication fails, the one that quietly destroys more relationships than anything else, I want to pause for a moment. If what you've heard so far is helping you understand yourself, or helping you understand your partner, or giving you language for things you've struggled to express, please share this video with someone who needs it. Send it to your partner. Send it to a friend. Send it to anyone who's trying to build healthier, more emotionally intelligent relationships. Because the truth is, most people were never taught how to communicate. They're doing the best they can with the tools they were given. And sometimes, all someone needs is the right information at the right moment. And if you want more content like this, more psychology, more relationship guidance, more emotional clarity, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm, yes, but more importantly, it helps people grow. It helps couples reconnect. It helps individuals heal. And it helps you stay connected to the tools that make your relationships stronger. All right, let's get into the most important reason of all. Reason number one, you don't feel emotionally safe. This is the heart of everything, the foundation, the quiet force underneath every argument, every misunderstanding, every moment where communication falls apart. If you don't feel emotionally safe, you cannot communicate well, and neither can your partner. Emotional safety isn't about avoiding conflict. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never getting upset. Emotional safety means this: I can bring my truth to you, and I won't be punished for it. When that safety is missing, communication collapses instantly. Why emotional safety matters so much. When you don't feel safe, your nervous system goes into protection mode. You shut down, you get defensive, you get reactive, you get quiet, you get loud, you get distant. Not because you don't care, but because your body is trying to protect you. And here's the part most people don't realize: you cannot connect and protect at the same time. Your brain has to choose one. If you feel judged, criticized, dismissed, or misunderstood, your brain chooses protection, and communication becomes impossible. How emotional safety gets broken. It doesn't usually happen in one big moment. It happens slowly, quietly, over time. A partner who interrupts you, a partner who dismisses your feelings, a partner who mocks or minimizes your emotions, a partner who shuts down when you open up, a partner who gets defensive every time you express a need, a partner who uses your vulnerabilities against you. Each moment seems small, but together they create an environment where you no longer feel safe to be honest. And once honesty disappears, intimacy disappears with it. What emotional safety looks like. It's not dramatic. It's not complicated. It's not loud. It looks like, I hear you. I didn't realize that hurt you. Tell me more. I want to understand. Your feelings matter to me. We're on the same team. It looks like presence. It looks like patience. It looks like curiosity instead of defensiveness. It looks like two people choosing connection over ego. The fix. Build safety intentionally. Emotional safety doesn't appear on its own. It's built, moment by moment, conversation by conversation. Here are 3 simple ways to start rebuilding it. 1. Slow the conversation down. When emotions rise, pace drops. Speak slower. Breathe deeper. Give each other space to think. 2. Validate before you respond. Validation doesn't mean agreement. It means acknowledgement. Try saying, I can see why you'd feel that way. It opens the door. 3. Make the relationship a safe place, not a battlefield. Shift from who's right to what's happening between us. Shift from why are you attacking me to what are you trying to tell me? Shift from here's my defense to help me understand. When emotional safety is present, communication becomes easy. When it's missing, communication becomes impossible. This is why reason number 1 matters so much. It's not just the biggest reason communication fails. It's the reason everything else fails too. Guys, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. You're not broken. Your partner isn't broken. Most people simply never learned how to communicate in a healthy, emotionally safe way. We grow up learning math, science, history, but no one teaches us how to express a need without fear, how to listen without defending, how to stay present during conflict, or how to create emotional safety in a relationship. So we enter adulthood doing the best we can with the tools we were given. And sometimes those tools just aren't enough. But the good news is this: communication is a skill, and skills can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Every time you slow down instead of reacting, every time you ask a curious question instead of defending yourself, every time you express a need clearly instead of hoping someone will guess, you're building a healthier relationship. You're becoming a better communicator. You're becoming a safer partner. You're becoming someone who can love and be loved with clarity and confidence. And if this video helped you understand yourself a little better, or helped you understand your partner, or gave you language for things you've been feeling for years, keep going, keep learning, keep growing, because your future relationships and your future self will thank you for it. And as always, keep growing. Your future self is waiting.